I want to say something to everybody right now. First of all, I want to thank everybody for all of your concern and all of your well wishes and your condolences and for the prayers. And I want to thank all of y'all for everything, for everybody that called, everybody that came by. But I want y'all to understand something. My baby is gone. But let me tell y'all something about us as parents. Yes, we don't ever want to have to bury our kids. And none of us ever wants to see anything happen to our kids. But we have to accept that our children, no matter how well we raise them, no matter what we do for them, no matter what we say to them, as adults are still going to make their own decisions. Anybody that knows me knows that I have been there for my son. I've done everything I could for my son, told my son that the way he was going wasn't gonna, get him anywhere but jail or hell. I have preached to Rodney over and over and over again. I have begged with him, pleaded with him to just get himself together because I didn't want to see this day come. Now let me say this to y'all. As parents, we have to let our children be responsible for their actions. My son is not here today because my son made one bad decision. And the reason that I can say this and not be looking to blame the police because my son is dead in what was supposed to have been called a high-speed chase, or that he was fleeing. They didn't say he was a high-speed chase. They said he was fleeing the police. But I can look y'all in the face and tell y'all that I know my son. I love my son to death. And everybody that has ever dealt with me or knows our situation knows that for a very long time, I have been trying to get Rodney on the straight and narrow. My son was determined to do what he wanted to do. And I'm going to tell y'all 3 things that I know my son knew at the time this accident took place. My son, number 1, knew that that motorcycle was stolen. Whether he took it or not, I don't know. But I know that when he got on it, he knew it was stolen. Or nothing else, he knew it wasn't his. Number 2, I know my child knew he didn't have a license. Number 3, I know that my child knew that had he stopped that motorcycle when that police officer did attempt to try to pull him over, he knew he was going to jail. Now let me tell you why I know my son did not want to face any of those consequences or own up to any of that. I know he didn't want to own up to it because my child, I can tell you, has not spent a birthday home. My son was 24. My son has been in and out of programs and getting in trouble for so long that he has not had a birthday at home since he was 11 years old. So when I say that if this was what happened and this is the consequence of my son's actions, I have no choice but to accept that. Okay? I have to accept that. And I got to accept it because it's the reality. Now I have people telling me, oh, the police had to have hit him. Oh, the police had to do this, or they were chasing him. They said they weren't chasing him, but they did. And let me tell you something. Whether they chased him or not, it's not going to bring my child back. Whether he fled or not, isn't going to bring him back. All I know is that this would have been avoided had he, A, not been on that motorcycle in the first place, knowing he didn't have a license and it didn't belong to him. And number 2, when and if they did attempt to stop him, he should have stopped. This is my child I'm talking about. My son that I birthed on November 21st, 1993. My baby. I need y'all young men and women out there that think that this is cool, that y'all putting these police on high-speed chases. Stop thinking about yourself for just a minute. Because I know that the only thought that goes through y'all mind when at the time the police get behind y'all and y'all know y'all dirty, the first thought that goes through y'all mind is, I got to get away. But let me tell y'all what y'all need to be thinking about. Y'all need to be thinking about the fact that there are innocent bystanders out here that could get hurt in the pursuit of you trying to get away from the police because you don't want to go to jail, because you don't want to face the action or face the consequences of your actions. If you weren't breaking the law, the police wouldn't be following you in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all with the Black Lives Matter motion and the movement, and I'm totally against police brutality, and I'm totally against these police that are out here, these dirty police that's out here killing our black people for no reason. But this is a situation right here where I got to be real with myself. I got to be real with me. And I need y'all to be real too. We as parents got to stop supporting our kids when we know our children are doing wrong. Stop justifying and blaming the police. We got to stop blaming the police when our children in a high-speed chase, the police in their adrenaline beat our kids up when they catch up to them, or when our kids are doing this or that, and, oh, well, you shouldn't have did this or that. My child is only 16 years old. You know what? Why in the world was your child in a stolen car high speeding at 16? So when the police pulled your kid over and you mad because my child is a minor and y'all question my child and illegally and adults should have been there, let me tell y'all something. We have to stop blaming the police when our children are doing wrong. That has to stop, because that's a huge part of the problem. A huge part of the problem is that we got so many parents out here that are making these kids feel like we got their back in every situation. Yeah, I got my child's back in any situation that happens with them, but I know when they're wrong that there are consequences that they have to face. Did my son deserve to die? Hell no. But my son wasn't in a situation where the police just pulled a gun on him while he was unarmed and had his arms up in the air. My son didn't die in a situation where there was a senseless gunfight and he got shot. My son died in an accident where he was fleeing the police because he did not have a driver's license and he was on a stolen motorcycle. I have to be real with me. I got to be real with me and accept that this kind of shit was going to happen because I knew the lifestyle that my son lived. We got to stop with the bullshit and stop accepting what these children are doing and stop supporting them in their wrong. A huge part of why my son wasn't living in my house with me at the time that this took place is because I told him that there were certain things that he could not do under my roof. Breaking the law was at the top of the list. You're not going to have all your friends in the streets in my house or at my house. I have girls here. That's not going to happen. Rodney, you can't be at my house and doing drugs. Rodney, you can't do this or that. And I know it's some of y'all out there that are going to look at this video and say, oh, she's down to her son. No, I'm not. I'm not down to my son because I love my child to death. But I'm sending this message out here hoping that one of y'all that are in his age group, younger, older, we'll see how short life really is. Maybe that you'll see that you could be here today and gone tomorrow. In all honesty, about a week ago, I sat my 15-year-old on my bed and I had a heart-to-heart talk with her about my son a week ago. And I said, every time my phone rings and my phone is ringing and it's a phone number that I don't know, I'm scared to answer the phone because I'm scared that they're going to come and tell me something. Somebody's calling me, telling me something bad about my child. I told Rodney to his face, it's a shame that your parent has to feel like they would rather see you in jail than in these streets, because at least if you're in jail, I know where you are. I know you got a roof over your head. And I know that whether you like the food or not, these people are feeding you 3 meals a day. Because when you in these streets, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you're doing to eat or keep a roof over your head. But what I do know is the things that you're not doing in the right way. I just turned 42 last Tuesday, March 20th. And I had almost 500 people on social media, just on Facebook alone, wish me happy birthday and post on my page, and then I had inboxes, I had text messages, I got phone calls. But all day I kept saying, the one thing I want more than anything on this earth is to hear from my son today. And about 8:30 that night, my son called. And if any of you follow my page, you saw that I posted that I had finally got that call. That was the one thing I wanted all day long, was just to hear from my baby. Just to know that he was okay. And even in the course of our phone call, he was telling me that he was, doing his thing. And I said, Rodney, you just don't get it. I don't understand why you don't get it. And he said, well, Mama, I'm just out here living. I said, but what are you doing to live? My son wanted to be a rapper. And that's something else, a whole nother subject. All y'all can't be rappers. And if you want to, that's fine. But do it as your secondary. Don't make that your primary income, because everybody can't make it out here. But what I told him was, Rodney, I get it. If music is your passion, that's fine. But don't you need a job to support that studio time? So what you need to do is get yourself together, get a regular job, and go to work and save up your money so you can do what you want to do. When my son was in jail recently, my son told me that he wanted to attend Full Sail University online for music production. That never happened, because the very day that my son got out of jail, the very first thing he did was reconnect with all the same people that he had always been hanging out with. And I begged and pleaded with my son, you don't get that you keep running with this same group of people, and every time you do, you end up in trouble. They ain't the ones sitting in jail, you are. You keep ending up with these same people, and you keep doing the same thing. We all know that's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. I got the same story every time he went to jail. Mama, it ain't going to be this way. It ain't going to be that way. When I get home, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The very day he got out, Rodney was on my phone, my daughter's tablet, my laptop, my other daughter's phone, and had her friend's phone overnight, contacting and getting himself reacquainted with all the same people he was out here with. And I'm not saying that all of his friends were bad, but if you keep hanging with the same people and you keep having the same result, at some point, either do one or two things. You either need to find yourself some new friends, or you need to isolate yourself. I'm hurting because I know that when y'all kids are out here doing the kind of stuff y'all are doing, I know damn well y'all ain't thinking about the effect it's having on y'all siblings, on your parents, on your grandparents, on your aunts and uncles. Y'all ain't thinking about none of them. Y'all ain't thinking about how hurt we are when we as parents have to turn around and bury y'all. I'm in a situation right now where when I sat my daughter down and was telling her how afraid I was that something was going to happen to him, I just got signed on payroll with my company on February 19th. And I said, whatever happens, Lord, I just need to make it till May 19th so that I can buy some life insurance through my company benefits, so that I'm not one of those parents that have to be online with a GoFundMe page. And guess what? A week later, the police were at my door telling me that my child, my baby, was dead. I can't put into words. I've cried all day. It's 7:55 right now. I've been crying all day to where my head was about to explode. I've been crying all day. But none of those tears are going to bring my baby back. And I'm sharing this message with y'all because I'm praying to God. The same way that I prayed for my child, I know there's plenty of mothers, grandfathers, brothers, sisters out there praying for their loved one to get their life together too. I'm sharing this message because I'm hoping that it will make a difference to somebody. Somebody will say, you know what? I don't want to end up like Rodney. I don't want my mama crying like Terica Charles was on Facebook. I don't want my mama to have to be on social media pleading with kids like me to stay out of trouble so that their families aren't going through what my family going through right now. I'm hurt. I'm torn to pieces about my baby. But nothing I do is going to bring him back. And when it's all said and done, I cannot be in denial about what happened. I can't. I can't. So I hope this message reaches somebody. I hope it changes a life. I hope that no other mother has to go through what I'm going through right now. Because right now, I don't even know how I'm going to bury my baby. I don't even know. But I got to take it one day at a time because I still got 2 daughters out here that I have to raise. I'm pleading with y'all. Y'all out here in these streets doing dirt, man. Stop. Let it go. It's not worth it. There are other ways that your money might not come as fast, but I always heard a saying, slow money is show money. Get out here. Get yourself a job. Find you a legal hustle, whatever that might be, whether it's your rap music or whatever it is. Find something constructive to do with your time that does not result in you being in jail or on your way to somebody's grave or sitting in a box in ashes on somebody's dresser. Okay? Once again, I love y'all. I thank all of y'all that have sent me messages, that have called, that have come by. I need all the prayers I can get right now. Not just for myself, but for my daughters. At this time, we still haven't even been able to locate his father to let his father know that his only child is deceased. So please continue to pray for my family because we need it. But I thank y'all again for all the support. And I pray to God that this message touches somebody.